The Third Committee of the UN General Meeting called upon nations to oppose the glorification of Nazism, Neo-Nazism, racism, xenophobia, etc., and called upon countries to oppose these things. Now, 153 countries voted on this issue. 53 countries abstained from voting. 4 of them actually voted against opposing Nazism. Those 4 countries were Ukraine and the United States, which is not surprising, but also Palau and my own Canada, which is very surprising. Now, the same vote took place last year. 115 countries voted, and 3 countries opposed it: the United States, Ukraine, and Canada again. The resolution condemns unconditionally the denial of the Holocaust and expressed concern over any forms of glorification of the Nazi movement, former members of the Waffen-SS organization, including the installation of memorials to them, and the unending attempts to desecrate or destroy the monuments to those who fought with Nazism during World War II. Destroying monuments. Now, this is very clearly aimed at Ukraine. This whole piece of legislation is. It's Soviet monuments that are being destroyed in the country to either leaders, popular figures, or the Soviet military in general who actually defeated the Nazis, because it is a Nazi-backed government inside the Ukraine. The Azov Brigade, Maidan, all these things, the openly Nazi symbols everywhere, and that's the power of the Ukrainian government. That's why the US and Canada, some of the most anti-Russian forces, are opposing banning Nazi symbols and glorification of the Nazis. So should we really be surprised that a member of the Ukrainian National Assembly, a former member, and the Ukrainian People's Self-Defense Force, a part of the Brotherhood, a Dmitry Korchinsky, proposed offering asylum to ISIS members in Ukraine because they feel that they have a common enemy in Russia. That's right, the pro-NATO forces inside Ukraine are openly allying with ISIS. Now, what he actually said was, at the G20 summit, leaders of Western countries were talking to the Moscow terrorist like he's a human, asking him to bomb ISIS positions. That is, their attitude towards the terrorists is pragmatic. Ukrainian security services also have to be pragmatic and therefore effective. It is not our business to arrest the enemies of Moscow, Islamists. We should only ask them to shoot accurately at Moscow's terrorists in the Caucasus and Syria. Now, in another statement, he did say specifically that it was ISIS that they should shelter and that they should ally with because they had a common enemy in Russia. I mean, here we have right now, very clearly, NATO and ISIS on the exact same side. I mean, this is not new news. I mean, the U.S. has been behind ISIS for some time now, but it's important to look at what it is that imperialism is doing right now. Imperialism is the motivating force behind ISIS, behind U.S. interests. It is their tool, and that their people inside of Ukraine are now openly allying with them. So despite the U.S. rhetoric of opposing ISIS, here they have their own allies allying with ISIS. I think this is something that really definitely needs to be kept in mind when looking at the geopolitical situation and who it is the West is actually supporting inside of Ukraine. And unfortunately, the war there will continue between either the Nazis and NATO or the imperialist interests of Russia. And in this very blatant contradiction, we should very well side with Russia because they're not Nazis. If you like this video and you'd like to see more of them, then head over to my Patreon page and show your support. Or you can go to the MRN bookstore and check out some of the latest books available. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, and share on various social media.